Hey, Kuzla here, and it is video response time. One of my subscribers, Super Smash 43, or is it 43? I've noticed in some of your videos you call yourself Super Smash 43. I myself, I read and I see Super Smash 43, so which one is it? Um, anyway, Super Smash 43, he put up a video a little while ago. I believe it was within the past day or so, called "Do Theists Have Less the Fear of Death Than Non-Believers in Actuality?" That's actually a really, really interesting question because he pointed out that he hadn't seen a lot of people actually talking about this. And, I was thinking about it, and a lot of the stuff that I've seen in terms of the videos that I watch. I haven't actually seen it a lot either, so props for asking it, man. Now, my take on it, would a theist actually have more to be fearful of from death than a non-believer? Well, and mind you, that this is just my opinion, but I think they would. I mean, because a lot of it does depend on your system of belief, but like the big ones, like Christians, Catholics, people that believe in just like, one God. Um, so that'd be like Christians, Catholics, Muslims, stuff like that. If you don't live by the tenements of the faith system that you have, then you're going to hell or whatever the various punishment is for that particular religion. Like Christians and Catholics, it's God and Jesus Christ and whatnot. And as the Bible has showcased so many times over and over again, that the smallest things will be counted against you as they believe. I mean, it even states right in the Bibles that that a person is born into sin right away. I mean, so it's like you're born, you're a baby, straight out of the room, boom, you've already sinned because you're alive. And that is good enough to warrant you going to hell. Which I find just utterly ridiculous. A child being born and already people are saying, well, this child has done something wrong. It's a child. What did it do? Flail? Did it cry? I mean, what is the great evil that this thing has done that a child has done that will get it thrown into hell for it just being a child? I mean, that's just one little slight problem that I have about that. But I mean, right there, I mean, just right from the get go, bam, already going to hell, and that by their belief, you need to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior to get to heaven, and you have to follow His tenements as presented by the Bible and the teachings of God and Jesus, you know, and that's right there is a real, real big thing because it's like, yeah, I would, you know, if I was, like I said, if I was still a Pentecostal, yeah, I'd kind of be worried about that. Am I going to get my reward to go to heaven? Did I leave behind a good legacy for myself? Yeah, I'd be worried about these things because it's like saying, here, I mean, their whole thing is like, when I die and if God judges me worthy, I get to spend the rest of eternity in paradise, basically. There'll be no wants, no needs, or anything like that. But because God, the way the Bible describes it, is so fickle, the smallest little thing will get you thrown into hell. Well, I gotta work. Oh, I'm going to pick up this extra. It's on a Sunday. Oh, can't do that. God says in the Ten Commandments, honor the Sabbath and keep it holy. So no work for you on Sunday, even though that extra, 4 to 8 hours worth of work might be enough to, get that nifty thing called rent paid. Obviously providing a roof over the head of your family is just not important enough to God, and He'll send you to hell for it. Because only a man would sit there and make such a just flat out audacious statement. I mean, it is ridiculous. I mean, only a male type figure would automatically blame a infant of doing something wrong. You know, and going by the religion, by what it says in the Bible, these, Christians and Catholics, and by the Quran and with Muslims, you know, I mean, if you don't do what your faith that you're ascribing to, the like all the teachings and stuff that bring you to be this like good person in the eyes of God, they where you'll be denied like the ultimate reward for living a faithful life and stuff over these various transgressions and stuff. Yeah, I would think that they would actually have a lot more to fear out of death if it happened, you know and so yeah, I would think that theists actually would have more to fear out of death than a non-believer, atheist, agnostic, would have, and you mentioned like Hinduism and Buddhism and stuff like that. With them, it's actually a lot more simplistic because with them, with the whole belief in reincarnation and so, whatever life you lived, basically indicates what you're coming back to in the next life. I mean, if you lived a really, really shitty life and you come back as a slug, well, you brought that all on yourself. But if you lived a pretty decent life, um, you might come back as something, better than what you were when you went through this life you know so with them, I don't think they worry about it as much just because it's all part of the cycle of reincarnation. But definitely with theists, I do think that yeah, they probably fear death more than someone like an atheist or like me as an agnostic would. um just because of the fact that they've got all that stuff just basically slapping the living hell out of them in their face, saying that if you don't do this and you don't do it precisely, I've got 10 things that you shouldn't do plus a bunch of other stuff in the great holy book that says if you don't do this, you're going to hell. So yeah, I think they actually probably would be a little bit more fearful of death than an atheist or an agnostic or any other non-believer. So, so I hope that answers your question for you, and let me know what you think. Thanks for putting up the video. Like I said, it was a really interesting question, and I just wanted to add my 2 bits and share my thoughts on it. Thanks for watching.